When you see those three letters and you see that number right there, you know you're in good hands. 1988. So yes, this week for GWC Plays, I am playing the legendary, the classic Super Mario Bros. 3. This week, the game has officially hit 30 years. We have peaked 30 years Mario 3. It's pretty crazy to think that it's such an old game at this point, but it's still a timeless classic. Like, I can put this game in anytime and it still remains fresh. It's fun. Like, nothing about it, I feel, has dated itself. Despite, like, even if it's on NES, like, obviously it's gonna be dated because of the system, but in terms of the gameplay and the art design and everything, it just works. And man, like, what an increase and like upgrade. If you look at Mario 1, Mario 2 to this, and I'm talking Mario 2 Japan, Doki Doki Panic doesn't count, but from that game to this, like, just opening it up, you're just like, whoa, like, stuff is happening and it's pretty crazy. So yeah, I'm gonna play through it. I don't know how far I'm gonna get. I'm just gonna play. I'm gonna talk about it, talk about things I like. Hopefully it goes good. That's what I'm hoping. If you believe it, this is actually my second attempt at recording this, because I was doing so bad gameplay wise on my first take that I was like, I couldn't in good conscience upload this to YouTube, because I was like just making a lot of mistakes. But I'm gonna let that go into the past. What's done is done. We're just gonna try a second take and see if it goes any better. Maybe worse, but you know what? I'm just gonna go with the wind. Yeah, and that's World 1-1. You know, probably the best I've ever done at that stage. You couldn't have done better. Yeah, World 2 right now. Or sorry, level 2. I don't know why I call it World 2. It's something I feel like for years I always do that thing of like, oh, World 1, World. When I should just say level. Honestly, another thing I'm talking about, like the upgrade of like Mario. Like, oh dang it. But just the upgrade from Mario 1 to 3 is like the color palette and everything else. Like you definitely get the sense that they learned a lot making this game, because like the color palette is very, very different and more colorful. There's more locales and just things happening, like those shadows that are happening there. Like, just a lot of really cool stuff. Like this right here, like the cloud levels in Mario 1 had like their look, but I feel like this, like, it has this whole different feel and just the soundtrack. Like, honestly, Koji Kondo. Oh god, can I get it? Hey, I can get it. But honestly, Koji Kondo killed it in this soundtrack. There's so many legendary like Mario tunes in this, and just like remixes of other stuff that it's just crazy. Nope. Alright, we're off to a better start, because before I didn't get that. I did get the flute, but I decided, you know what, I'm not gonna get it, because I'll get the one in the next little mini stage. I probably will use it. There is one stage I want to play. And I was talking about this too. Because as a kid, I always wondered, like, how much of a random choice is it? It's like, is there like a strategy? Like, maybe the middle one produces better stuff, or maybe the left one. But honestly, it does not matter which one. It is going to be random every time. So let me see if I can showcase this. I just save stated. Let's hit this. It was a flower. It's a mushroom now. Mushroom. Now it's the tanuki leaf. Or the raccoon leaf. So yeah, it is random. It does not matter which one you go for. Every second, I feel it changes. So there's no way to game it. Like for years, I thought the center was always the best. But it must have just been either I had good luck or I never noticed. But yeah, the mystery is solved in that one. It does not matter which one you go to. It is always going to be pure random. Hopefully that brought you some ease. For me, it just brought me more like, dang, I guess I was just getting really good luck over the years. Maybe you feel good because it's like, man, I was doing good. God, and every time I see this level, it just reminds me, going back to Impractical Gamer, when I did the challenge, beating Mario 3's first world without ever collecting a single coin. That is so difficult. Honestly, like to this day, that is one of the hardest challenges I think I ever did with that series. Because it's so, like the challenge itself sounds easy, but there's so many hard jumps you have to do that like the angles alone make it so difficult. Like this one right here, like having to hit the Koopa in the air and dodge the coin. You have to like go backwards to get it. Like that's what makes it so hard. You have to like arch yourself to the left some, then head right. Like it was relentless. It honestly, looking back, it's probably one of my favorite challenges. Just in like that I actually completed it and that I can't do it again. Like I've tried, I cannot beat that challenge. It's so hard. Like trust me, try that for yourself. Try and get through World 1 without collecting a single coin. It's challenging. Believe me, I'm not doing it again. I'm done. I tried to think of doing some other stuff in other Mario games, but it's like, now how hard it was in this, I don't know. Now, I know for sure, definitely in Mario 1, it's impossible to get that entire game without collecting a coin. Because there's, I think it's a certain jump in World 8, there's no physical way to get past it. Like, I think at the end, your total score is 500, but that's it. So in that game, it's impossible to do it. This game, I don't know to what extent it is possible. Like if I was to go further on, but I think I actually tried it, and there is a certain like level in World 2 where it's like, it's impossible. I think it's the one where you have to slam the Koopas into like the blocks to get through to the warp pipe. I think that one is actually impossible because you're going to get coins from that inherently. So you would have to skip World 2, which I feel would be against the challenge of beating the entire game without collecting it. And at that point would end up being just collecting like a minimal amount. God, but even looking at this now, I don't know how I did it. Like, I honestly like want to rewatch it again because some of these jumps, even playing it like regular now, I'm just like, what did I do here? Like some of them are obvious, like, okay, I maybe I ducked there, but then some I'm like, wait, like the angle, like what did I do to get past that? I remember there was some ridiculous jump here that, okay, it wasn't here. Oh yeah, that's what got me too, is you have to make sure that Koopa's off stage. If I remember, I think I got to the end there after like losing. I got to the end without collecting a single coin, and I accidentally hit the card, so I ended up getting a coin. Oh, it is thing. Some fun times. Yeah, getting back to Mario 3 now. I will say, compared to my first time, way better. Way better item selections too. They were giving me garbage. They were just giving me mushrooms. Like, nah. And I feel like my lives are how I wanted it. If I was playing better, I would have had all 3 stars, but I'll take what I can get at this point. Oh god, this theme. This theme has made its way like into everything Mario. Like I said, Koji Kondo did not play around with the soundtrack. He came in to and just there's so many fantastic like compositions in this game, and some that have just like lived on into like future Mario titles and are still being played. And it's kind of the same with like Koji Kondo's Zelda output too. There's a lot of songs in Links to the Past in that same regard where they become like mainstays of the series. Like they were established in that game and they've lived on in future titles and like remixed versions or like different orchestrations of it. And I feel like Mario 3 has a lot of stuff like that. Which I love because like, the soundtrack's really good. It's actually a theme for the first world, like Grassland Groove. Like, oh, that perfect opening like world theme. Like it's catchy and it just gets stuck in your head with like the dun 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 dun. Like it's really good theme. So I just get weird games like, wait, there's other people in the Mushroom Kingdom. Like you have this guy here. I was like, okay, learning more lore. Although that Super Mario Brothers Super Show also expanded on that too, which that was a crazy show. Like I feel like those kind of shows, sadly, it sucks that those shows are kind of gone the way of the past. Like I feel like there's not too many like video game shows now. Like yeah, there's Sonic, but like, I feel like Sonic's always had a show. But like man, like a good. Actually, wait, never mind. Never mind. I forgot all about. There's Castlevania. Well, not inherently like a cartoon, even though it is animated. It's more like an adult animation. And different things, but like, man, it'd be interesting to see like a good Legend of Zelda cartoon, not like the one that we all know. Even though I do kind of like that one. I kind of over time kind of grown to like that one. I remember somewhere I had the VHS tape with that one of that series and Captain N the Game Master, where it's got like the Nintendo kid who's warped into the game, and it's got bootleg Simon Belmont and like Cigarette Mega Man and Pit from Kid Icarus. And now that show wasn't good, but I still kind of in some small way kind of like it. Just like that Mario 3 show as well. It's kind of like the sequel to the Super show they did, but it was just the cartoon. That show wasn't too bad either. I think for me, I was just like, ooh, video games, cartoons. I'll take whatever I can get. Like, I don't care what it is. I'll take it, especially if it was Legend of Zelda. Like, that's why I'm just like, man, a good Zelda cartoon or like piece of media would be great, but I feel it wouldn't be good. I just have like an inkling that it would be trash. It's like I don't want that situation. I don't want a Dragon Ball Evolution situation on my hands, where something that's like beloved and like important to me and like my childhood is just torn to shreds. That's exactly what that movie was. Like that movie, I know everyone's like, oh, because everyone always forgets that Dragon Ball exists for some reason, and it's kind of hard finding Dragon Ball if you like look the stuff up because Z took over. But honestly, I think Dragon Ball is the better show, in my opinion. And when I saw like Dragon Ball Evolution, it's like they got everything wrong. Like, I don't know how you screwed it up. It's such an easy plot. But they managed to go above and beyond, and I'm scared if they ever did Legend of Zelda, it would be something stupid like that. Like, there's been very rare when a good video game movie or property is actually done. The first Mortal Kombat movie, I will give them. That is a pretty decent movie. And I'll even go as far to say that Street Fighter movie, I kind of like that movie. It's cheesy. You know, it's not a good movie, but it's one I could put on and feel like, you know what, that was an enjoyable watch. It wasn't Citizen Kane, but it was pretty alright. And that's how I view that movie. But then you get like those Resident Evil movies, and then you get like the Tekken movies and the Dead or Alive movie and the House of the Dead movie. It's like, so I don't know. We'll see, but I'm kind of scared because there is that Mario movie happening, and I'm just gonna call it right here. I'm gonna say it. Charles Martinet is probably, unfortunately, not gonna be Mario in that movie. I'm saying it right now, not to bring it down, but I just know how Hollywood is. They're gonna say, "Who's Charles Martinet? We don't care. We're gonna get Seth Rogen to play Mario," and that's gonna be it. Because they're going to want a name on the poster. Because to kids and people, they're going to be like, Charles Martinet, who is that? Mario movie? I don't know who Charles Martinet is. There's nothing for me to see. See, producers are like, we need a name on the cover. So we're going to do that. And the biggest example of that is, if you ever saw the poster for the Ratchet and Clank movie, James Arnold Taylor's voice, like his title, was like all the way at the end, and he played the title character. Same for David Kaye, the voice of Clank. Their names were barely on the poster. They did them so dirty. They put Sylvester Stallone's name like higher in the credits, and he's only in that movie for like 2 minutes. I think my time talking about this movie, I said more lines than he said in it. But yeah, they do voice actors in Hollywood very dirty, and they could do a huge amount of work, and they'll get like nothing. They won't get the name on the poster. So I'm just gonna say right now, Charles Martinet, he's not gonna be in that Mario movie, and if he is, he's not gonna be Mario. They're gonna give him like Mario's nephew, Barrio, because they won't give him the main title. They're gonna want some big celebrity. And they're going to screw it up, and it's going to stink. I'm like, did you think the team that made Minions is going to make a good Mario movie? Like, I don't have much hope. When's the last time Illumination made a good movie? I can't recall one. So it's gonna be a mess. Am I gonna see it in theaters? Maybe not. I don't know. I might not want to support it. I might be like, how you gonna do Charles dirty? He's been the voice of Mario since the beginning. I just feel they're gonna make it some boring plot. It's gonna be like Mario is in the real world. See how he reacts when he leaves the Mushroom Kingdom for New York City. And they're gonna have some like joke of Mario in like New York, and he's gonna be like doing actual plumbing. And he's gonna be like, I do not know what this is. God, they're gonna ruin it. I'm calling you right now. I know, like, it's not a hard prediction, but I just have a bad feeling. Like, it's kind of like that Sonic movie, too. Like, honestly, what's funny is at the time of this recording, the Sonic movie is out. Like, it's out today. And there's been so much with that Sonic movie. I'm, like, kind of worried. Like, that terrible Sonic art that they just had in there, which I kind of wish we were in the timeline where the movie was out at this point. Like, we're already like a few months in after that Sonic movie had come out, but it got changed, and now the design looks pretty decent. I don't know, maybe it will be good. Maybe it'll be decent. I don't have much hopes, but we'll see. Speaking of hopes, I should get back to Mario 3. I kind of went on a long rant on video game movie properties, which I'm sure no one cared about. They're like, we don't care about your opinion on the Mario movie that's going to suck. We want to hear you talk about this game. You know, that's exactly what I'll do. But getting back into comparing things, one thing I do want to bring up, because when I brought this game up on Twitter for my 30th anniversary post, I mentioned happy 30 years to one of the greatest games ever made. I know for some it's like, well, is it the best Mario game? And even then, it's not my number one pick of all time. It's up there though. Like, I'd probably put it number 4 maybe. But it's a really good game. Now, the argument comes in when you start putting Mario. They kind of go back and forth. Sometimes Mario World is my number 1 pick, and like I prefer that. But then sometimes Mario 3 comes on top. So honestly, it varies. It really depends on like the mood I'm in at the time, or just after I played it a bit. Because sometimes I'll be like, after playing Mario World, like, man, this is still amazing. Then I'll play Mario 3 and be like, dang, this is also really good. So it kind of goes back and forth sometimes for me. I can't really decide on it, but both games are amazing, all in their own different ways. Like, they all have their own different feels to them. Like Mario 3 stylistically and gameplay wise is a vastly different game from Mario World. Like, I can't really compare them. Like, it's kind of like the apples and oranges thing, because while they may share like same gameplay aspects, the gameplay, the feel is all very different. And Mario 3 has its own feel and World has its own feel. Kind of like Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time. Well, that's a little harder because that game shares much more the same things, but it's the same thing. Two different games. They kind of share some of the same ideals, but conceptually, they're a much different game, even on gameplay wise. So it kind of gets hard in that conversation. I'm kind of back and forth. I'm like, I love both games. I can't put one over the other. Like, there are moments that I remember from my childhood where Mario 3 was a big game for me, but there's also a lot of great moments with Mario World as well. So I can't really pick like this over that one. Especially if I get to the 3D Marios. Then it gets a little hard too. Cause it's like, okay, what's better? Mario 64 or Sunshine? Which I will give the obvious answer. Sunshine. No. But hey, I'll get to Sunshine at some point because I need to come redeem that game. That game gets too much hate for no apparent reason. Sunshine is a good game, and I'm gonna end it right there. I'll save the rest for when I get to that video. But Sunshine's a good game, and it's gotten hate for no reason. I said it, and I'm gonna leave it at that. Unpopular opinion of the month. These water levels were pretty good in this one. Though I hate those enemies. Like, the bloopers like drive me up the wall. And I mention it a lot, especially in my Super Mario Maker GWC Plays. But like, there's a lot of stuff in that game that I'm so happy like came through, because now like because when Mario Maker 1 came out, there were a lot of like types of worlds I wanted to make, especially when I made Mario 3 levels. I feel like I couldn't get the same feel because they were missing so many items and just different things, like being able to make like a dry level with a water level with dry elements. Like, that's what I wanted from Mario Maker 1. I'm just like being able to do that. Like from the beginning, like now I can pretty much almost recreate the entire game. Oh, making pretty decent progress. I think we're like 20 minutes in. I'm not too sure. I could also break this too, because if I decide to use the save state stuff, I could just save state in the beginning, find stuff, and then load. I know on the Switch it can be done too with that rewind feature, but then that also leads into a whole other conversation. Hey, I'm actually getting some really good items. Like like this playthrough, if I was like gonna play it all the way through, I'm getting some good stuff. Like the game's playing very nice today. Yeah, that save state stuff brings in a whole other conversation that gets very tricky. I remember there's like the argument on Twitter like a few months ago. I was talking about the save state stuff, and it was like the legitimacy of using the save state, not the save state, but the rewind feature to like beat certain hard games. And I'm kind of like, on one hand, I'm like, I don't care. You beat a game how you beat a game. But for certain things, I'm like, okay, well, in that sense, it kind of was a little like cheap. Like, this isn't inherently on the rewind feature, but it's something that happened to a friend, and it kind of bothers me. So, one of my friends went to a local game store, and he got a copy of Pokemon Stadium for the N64. And when he got his copy, it was fully beaten. It had Mewtwo unlocked and every single cup finished. Now, if you've never played Pokemon Stadium, it takes so long to get Mewtwo and to get through some of those cups. Like, when I played it as a kid, it took me and my sister like 2.5 years to get to it. Like, it was absurd. And it's so difficult too. Like, getting there takes a long time, but it's difficult too. You have to pretty much have the perfect team, or else you're not getting through some of those later cups. And I think it was the fact that he got it and he's like, oh yeah, I got Mewtwo. I was like, you what? I was like so disheartened. I was like, man, you don't realize how much like you're saved. Like, it's like, you have Mewtwo, but you really don't have Mewtwo because you didn't work to get him. It was like part jealousy too, just like, man, like, you know what I had to do to get him? I only had him for a little bit because my copy decided to corrupt, so I unfortunately lost out on having Mewtwo, which still to this day like makes me sad. Oh, this sucks. Alright, that's it. Yeah, I'm feeling bad. Getting back to that little like save state, the rewind thing. Like one case where I almost wouldn't feel bad to rewind in a game myself would be like the end of Ninja Gaiden 1. And if you ever played that game, when you get to the final boss of the game in the final stage, if you die on the boss, no matter what phase you're at, you have to retry the entire like final stage over again. There's no like oh, you retry from the boss and immediately, like, no, you have to beat the entire stage again. And keep in mind, getting there is ridiculously hard. Like, when I did my YouTube playthrough of it took me like, God, like maybe 90 minutes to get to him, because there's certain parts in that stage that are almost impossible. You need to have the luck of a madman to get through it. So getting to the final boss, having enough health to get him is going to be ridiculously hard. And keep in mind, if you die once, you have to start over. So you have like maybe 30 seconds to kind of play him, but then you have to get to him again. It's so hard that in that case, I almost wouldn't be bad if you decided to use the rewind. Like, I still hope to beat that game legit one of these days, but it's so hard, and I'd start to lose like focus and just kind of hope once I get there, because it's like, man, I have to get to that level again. But that's just how it is. Now in this game, I wouldn't really use rewind, like, because most of the mistakes in this game come from myself and not the game itself. So this wouldn't be a game where I'd be like, oh man, I can't believe like the game just did me dirty like that. You know what? I'm gonna rewind. I'm gonna use a save state. But on those games that really don't play fair, then it's like, okay, you know what? You have a reason. I'm not gonna feel mad. Can I at least get one of these before this video's over? I guess not. They need to take my time. I will say at least I'm getting good items. They're giving me some pretty good picks. Hey, got 2 Tanuki suits. Now let's go over to this little section here. Didn't know about this, did you? Well, everyone did, but there's probably one person out there who's like, you know what, I didn't know about that. Yeah, I'm getting some pretty good items. Like, I'm feeling pretty good about this one. And yeah, there's nothing else over here. Well, there's that, but I can't do anything there. Now, if I had the 2 whistles, I could go to Bowser and like try and actually finish the game. But nah, I think for this video, I'm not going to be able to get there. Because even if I get to World 8, it's still going to be hard. Now, even though I've played this game a lot, there's still stuff in this game that challenges me that still is like pretty tough to get through. So I can't say in like good measure, like, oh, if I get there, I'll be able to just smoke and get through there with no issue. It's like, nah, World 8's still going to give me trouble. Like 3 or so years ago, maybe. I forgot, it was a long time ago. On Twitch, I did a full playthrough of this game. It was like a 4.5 hour long stream of the entire game. And I was on those later worlds for a bit. Like, I was on there for a good minute. Like, I was dying. I had to utilize a lot of the items I had like saved up. But the good thing is I had like 50 lives, so I wasn't in any danger of like losing everything. But wow. Okay, that's a rewind moment right there. If I played it regularly, I would have rewinded. It's like the luck that I made it back on the platform. Like, already that's pretty nuts. But then that I squander it by not jumping. I'm like, why? Why, John? Why? I've always loved like the aesthetic of this game and kind of that theater kind of thing they're going for, where it's like the game's like a stage play. With how like when you start the game up, you see the curtains go up. When you finish the game, the curtains go down. As you finish levels, you go off screen to like the blackness, like you're going off stage. Like, it was one of those cool details. It took me a long time to notice, and it's like I always thought that was like a nice little thing, like aesthetic wise they went for. And kind of like the blackness, like on the bottom screen, is kind of like. All right, there we go. The terrible jump is over. Now, can I make it through here without dying? And if I fell off the platform there. It's like I make it to the level and I just die in the end. Yay! And my least favorite enemy. I really don't like these guys. Especially if they're in Mario Maker 2. Like, there's so many stages that have these guys and they get on my nerves. Oh god. And that's the thing I don't like too. You see how like their stuff can go through the walls? Like I hate that. That's honestly my biggest pet peeve in certain games. Like when the enemy can go through like the walls with their projectiles, but you can't. Like that bothers me so much. It's like it's so cheap. It's like, let me play fair. Like how come the enemies can play dirty, but I can't? Like that's what gets me. And a lot of games do that, especially NES games. They pull a lot of dirty tricks like that. Nah. I had this one. One's pretty good. Now, the thing I really liked with this game kind of going into it, too, and looking back on it now, is you really see the variety of it. Mario 1, well, Mario 1's a good game. Is it my favorite of the Mario series? Probably not. It's a really good game, but you can definitely tell it's kind of a trial run. I feel like this is the game they really wanted to make, they wanted Mario 1 to be. Like, in terms of the scope and everything else with it, it's very ambitious. Coming off of Mario 1 and 2. And even with like a lot of the variety in there, like in terms of like the look of it and the dungeons and everything, like Mario 1 has a very samey look throughout most of the game. With like Mario 3, they're like, we have some more money now. Let's push a little bit what we can do. Let's push the color palette. Let's stay away from the browns and the blacks and use like blue and green and pink. So it's pretty nice. Never mind. Okay, how am I looking on Let's keep going for a little bit. Oh god, this stage. Any stage with Big Bertha, I'm like, oh, can I get out of here? These stages like cause me like internal dread. Like, ever have those moments where like your fight or flight kind of kicks in, where you're just like, where you're just kind of like, these stages do that to me. Like they get me extremely tense. I think mostly in a lot of games, it's when there's like a big chase kind of scene happening. Like those are the ones that like really get me. Like when you're getting chased by something and it's like right on you. Like I'm just like, ah. I always hated too, like even though you kill Big Bertha, another one's right there. Hey, yeah. On the going back to that topic of video game movies, and I won't tread on there for long. I just want to mention one video game movie I forgot to mention, and I can't believe I just forgot it. But there already has been a Mario Brothers movie, and that movie, while it is not good, it is a very enjoyable, so bad it's good movie. I have no shame popping on the Mario Brothers movie from time to time. I'm like, you know what? It's not great, but it's very funny for the time. Like the stupid Mario Luigi and Luigi Mario thing. How Yoshi's just a straight up dinosaur. How Bowser's just a dude with some horns. Like there's a lot of ridiculous things in that movie. But I don't know, I can't help but like not love it. I feel like that's my weakness, is like certain bad movies, I kind of have like I'm drawn to them. I don't know why, but that movie's one of them. Like when I first saw it, I was like, for a long time I was of the mind like that movie sucks. I don't ever want to watch it. And I feel over at a certain point I came to like start kind of liking bad movies, not in a like a ironic sense, like I like watching bad movies, like to be ironic, and like it became less of that, kind of more like I like the like something about like a bad movie, like they was trying to be good but ended up being bad. I feel like I like the thing of that. Like I feel like the Sharknado movies failed at that, because the first Sharknado movie is bad, but I feel like that movie they tried to make a good movie and didn't work out, and that's what makes it so good. It's when people think their movie is great and it's bad is when it's good. When they're intentionally making a bad movie, it sucks. there's probably a scientific equation to it, but like if you think about it yourself, like a lot of times it's true. If you look at a movie that's intentionally made to be bad, it stinks. But if it's bad, if it's trying to be good but ends up being bad, it always works. At least for every movie I've kind of used an equation for. Although there are some rare movies that are just bad, where I'm like, you know what? They're trying to make a good movie, but it was bad and it wasn't even enjoyable. But yeah, like the Mario Brothers movie, I will give some respect to that one. I'm not trying to get back on that the new Mario movie talk. Let's get away from that. Let's get back to the good Mario things, like this game and this level design. It's like you like bullet hell games. Well, we're gonna put one in Mario 3. Ikaruga who? Although these early ones, like they're throwing a lot of stuff at you, but it's really kind of all in preparation to get you ready for World 8. Because once you hit that point, the game's like, you know what? You're good at dodging stuff. We're gonna throw a million things at you now. Like you better be good, because we're not giving you any chances here. Yeah, honestly, I'm making pretty decent progress. Like I was expecting, I'll just play World 2 and then be done. Oh yeah, and I always liked that they just used Mario and just kind of recolored him, but it's like that's Mario's exact sprite. It's like the mustache, and just gave him like long black hair. So they're like, you know what? We could make an original character here. Nah, just reuse Mario. No one's gonna notice. Oh, this theme. I'm just gonna let this sit for a bit. One other thing I need to bring up before I get to the end of this. If you've never heard of this group before, they've disbanded now, but like one of the person from this group is still making music. But if you've ever heard of Dwayne and Brando, who they did video game inspired music, like 2007. Like they've been around YouTube and just like the video game music scene for a while. But they would do these video game raps, and like one of the final things they put out was this Mario Brothers 3 song. I'm gonna put that in the link of this description. It's honestly pretty fantastic. Like Dwayne and Brando were like the soundtrack for me in like high school. Like I always had those songs like on my phone. Like they were a great group. It's a shame what happened, but I'm happy at least that the person who was in that group is still making music. So at least stuff is still happening, and the solo stuff that Brando does from Dwayne and Brando is also really good too. He did a Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past rap for the Light World, and did a whole Super Metroid album. Yeah, all of Dwayne and Brando's stuff's great. Go check it out. The Mario Brothers 3 song is really good. But with that out the way, because I did want to bring that up. That's one thing I would have been mad if I didn't remember. But yeah, this is the best world in the game. This is my favorite world in this game. And honestly, what I'm hoping for is in the next Mario Maker patch, I really hope we get something like this. Like being able to make this stage or these type of worlds in Mario Maker 2 would be insane. Like that's what I want. I want to be able to recreate this. Like this level and this entire world is awesome. All right, let's do it once more for good measure. All right, I want to read your mind right now. I'm going to say right now, You're thinking of the left box. Like Chris Angel. All right, but enough about dated musicians who no one cares about anymore. No, magicians. I don't know. I said musicians, but yeah, that's gonna be it for me here. There's obviously a lot more of Mario 3. There's quite more I could talk about, but I don't have the time to get through that, and I feel I would need another 3 hours to get through the entire game. But I just wanted to at least talk about this game because it hit 30 years. It's a game that's been a cherished part of my childhood, and I've played this game several times, and it's up there. It's a fantastic platformer, and it set the standard for what the Mario series would later become in terms of the 2D titles, as I feel Nintendo was really trying to always kind of recreate that same feel and magic with Mario 3, but they could never get quite there. Like New Super Mario Bros. U, I felt was really trying hard to be Mario 3, but it wasn't there. Good game, mind you, but it could just never reach that same level. But yeah, this was a special game. And I'm proud to have this game sit on my shelf, boxed and complete. That was honestly the happiest thing for my collection, was getting the Mario 3 box and having the manual. So yeah, that's gonna be it from me here. Thank you very much for sticking around, watching some Mario 3. Go play it. It's still a fantastic game. If you've never played it, you're living under a huge rock. It's a pretty essential game. And especially if you have a Nintendo Switch, you already have it. You have Mario 1, you have 2, you have 3. Go play it. It's a classic. And it's Miyamoto's now I'm not gonna say peak, because he kept going higher and higher, but it was definitely a huge point for him. So thank you very much. Until next week, I'm John, GWC, and I will see you later.